Wow, what a way to start a program. Thank you to the William Fleming High School drumline and cheerleaders. Certainly want to acknowledge Mr. Sanchez and Coach McCoy. Thank you. I'm Justin McLeod, and I want to welcome you to Convocation 2020. We are coming to you from the auditorium here at William Fleming High School. Typically, as you know, we gather at the Berglund Center. Unfortunately, plans were changed this year because of the pandemic, and we hate it as much as all of you do. So Convocation will look a little different this year, but the reason we are here remains the same, and that's to celebrate our amazing teachers and staff as we get ready for a school year. So let's begin with the presentation of colors by the Patrick Henry William Fleming Color Guard, followed by the singing of the national anthem by Michaela Lafferty of Patrick Henry High School, and the Pledge of Allegiance by Nichelle Lawrence of William Fleming High School.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. I want to welcome you all again to our virtual convocation. As I said, it's a little different this year. We're all spread out, socially distancing, and unless we're at the podium, we are wearing masks. I want to take a moment and welcome our special guests. Please stand when your name is called, and we ask that you hold your applause until the end. Certainly want to give a warm welcome to our superintendent, Mrs. Verlita White, as well as her family, who Mrs. White will introduce later in the program. Representing the city of Roanoke is Mayor Sherman P. Lee, Vice Mayor Joe Cobb, Michelle L. Davis, Anita J. Price. Representing the Roanoke City School Board is Letheria H. Smith, Chairperson, Mark K. Cathy, Natasha N. Saunders, Joyce Watkins, and Dick Willis. At this time, I ask all members of the executive staff to please rise and be recognized. I want to recognize someone who means a lot to me, and I know she means a lot to everybody in this room, and really has touched so many lives in the city of Roanoke, and that's Mrs. Doris Ennis. She's retiring after nearly 60 years with Roanoke City Schools, although no one believes you're actually retiring. And she's joined by her lovely husband, Hugh, this morning. Thank you. Thank you to Principal Archie Freeman for hosting us and all of your hard work getting ready for this. Thank you. We have with us the Fallon Park Principal, Miss Nikki Mitchum, with us, as well as Myra Wasson, the 2020 Teacher of the Year, and Lee Wilhelm, Chairperson of the Roanoke Education Foundation. Let's give everybody a round of applause. At this time, Lee Wilhelm of the Roanoke City Public Schools Education Foundation will come forward to make a special presentation for this year's Teacher of the Year recipient. Lee?
Good morning. I don't know about you all, but it really felt uplifting to walk in this morning and have the band and drums and all that. I really was afraid we were all just going to be sitting in here. No band, no welcoming. We still don't have all the rah-rah that the normal convocation has, but, you know, we got to push through in this, and it's certainly different. I told Joe Cobb, second time I've tied a bow tie since March, I almost had to go back and get the book out to figure out how to do it, but that's life today, and we move on. You know, the foundation is here to support needs of the students that can't be met in regular budgets, and maybe needs that parents have to have instruments and art supplies and those things. But it's also here to support the teachers. And I think one of the big events of the year is our presentation to the Teacher of the Year. Myra Watson has taught in Roanoke City Public Schools for the past decade. Born and raised in Roanoke, she has enjoyed giving back to the community that helped her make her who she is today. The oldest of three girls, she was the first person in her family to attend college. Her dad did not finish high school, and he and her mom often struggled to make ends meet. They worked hard to provide for Myra and her sisters, and they saw that difficulty growing up. She knew from childhood that she wanted to break her family cycle of struggle and decided on education as the way to do that from a young age. This forced her to take her studies seriously and to pursue a degree that would further her life plan. Graduating from Liberty University in 2010 with her master's in elementary education, she began teaching the following year at the school where she had also done her student teaching. Get pages turned here. Sorry. Myra has always prided herself on sound instruction and ability to adapt to the changing curriculum and academic needs of her students. However, there were several strong influences that have shaped Myra's approach to teaching, which I think she will tell you about in just a few minutes. In shifting her own mindset, Myra has contributed immeasurably to the success of her students. She feels confident in sharing her own mistakes and growth to show teachers they are not alone as they strive for the emotional and academic success of their students, despite internal and external obstacles that present themselves. Myra is proud of what she does because she listens to the needs of her kids. When something isn't working, she's not afraid to change how her classroom is running, even if it worked the year before or the day before. She maintains a healthy criticism of herself while analyzing the growth made from beginning of the year to the end. Myra knows that what she is doing is working. Her passion of her career has not wavered in a decade, and her ability to thrive continues to grow. The Roanoke City Public Schools Foundation is pleased to present Myra with a check for $1,000 in recognition of her selection as Teacher of the Year. We have a check over here, and George's Flowers has also presented us with a beautiful bouquet of flowers for Myra. And would y'all join me and I dig my mask out real quick? Y'all get pictures. And Myra's signature will have a little bit smaller, more tangible check before we practice this. Thank you. Good deal.
Good morning. What an honor to be here today. I am wholeheartedly grateful for this experience and recognition, and I'm as proud as ever to be a teacher in Roanoke City Public Schools. As we ventured back into the classrooms last week, it may have felt like everyone was a first-year teacher. Some of us wore clothes with buttons and zippers for the first time in 5 months. I haven't worn heels all summer, so I'm already feeling that. Some of us were aching to be home with our pets and our spouses and our children after months in our safe little bubbles. Some of us were anxious and had and continue to have a stream of questions continuously circulating in our heads. We are coming to the classroom this year with different expectations and also different opportunities than ever before. I encourage you, in whatever position you hold, to adopt a spirit of encouragement and positivity instead of a spirit of worry and anxiety. We are entering this year with different views and questions, and we have never needed more support from our superintendent, school board, administration, and fellow staff members. Perfection is the enemy of good, and it is important to give ourselves a little grace as we navigate the new world in which we live. We cannot reach perfection while reaching kids. What we can do is continue to get up every day and know that we mean good and that what we do is incredibly significant. We can use this opportunity to grow and fight for the quality of education we know our students need, or we can let nerves and the unknown overtake us. One of my favorite activists, Rich Roll, says that mood follows action. We can't wait around for our feelings and thoughts to motivate us, to lead us to our goals. We can reach our goals by doing first and thinking later. You have been placed in this moment intentionally and with purpose. Lean on your school family. Celebrate the little wins, like creating a Canvas button for the first time, or not forgetting your mask when you go to the bathroom. We are always advocating for our students, and this year I ask that we also advocate for ourselves. I ask that our questions be heard and valued, and that the answers do not waver. I ask that you listen to our struggles and meet us where we are. Let's give support even when it's not asked for. Let's practice patience because no one has it all figured out right now. Keep your head up, because we don't have to know what's going to happen next to get joy out of what's happening now. Thank you for this platform and for the amazing gift of being named Teacher of the Year.
Congratulations once again, Ms. Wasson. Thank you for those words of wisdom, and certainly want to acknowledge and thank the ongoing support of the foundation. And Ms. Mitchum, I know you didn't want to come up on the stage, But congratulations on that beautiful new building, and I hope you and your staff and students really enjoy it. I know it is a really big deal for Southeast Roanoke, so congratulations. It is my pleasure to introduce Sherman Lee, the mayor of our record 7-time All-America City. Mr. Lee was elected to Roanoke City Council in 2004 and has served as mayor since 2016. In addition to serving our great city, Mayor Lee is also a former school board member and currently serves on the National Civic League Board of Directors. Following Mayor Lee, Mrs. Lutheria Smith, chairperson of the Roanoke City School Board, will make some remarks. Mrs. Smith is serving her second 3-year term on the school board. She is currently employed as Vice President, Senior Associate, and Director of Human Resources with Draper Aiden Associates. Mayor Lee will now bring greetings from Roanoke City Council.
Good morning, everybody. On behalf of our city council, our city administration, and citizens of our great Star City, thank you for inviting us and making us a part of Convocation 2020. While 2020 has presented all of us with some unique challenges due to COVID-19, I am confident that our teachers, our students, and administrative staff will be strong enough to meet those challenges and accomplish great things during the coming school year. Let me just say a few words about your school board. Having served in that capacity for about 5 years, at times you have to make some tough decisions. But I want to thank you for your commitment, your deliberation, your work. That's so important to where we are. We're very proud of our school system. We're very proud of the things you accomplish, and we know under the leadership of Superintendent White that things are going to just get even better. So we want you to continue to work hard, and do those things that will make our students some of the best in the country. And teachers, let me say that I love you. I love you. And recognizing that I have a daughter that's a teacher, been a teacher for 20 some odd years. And I said I wasn't going to say that because that gives away my age. But she and her husband are educators, and so a lot of our dinner table conversation is about education. But thank you for all that you do to make our school system what it is. Thank you for facing up to this challenge, and I think it's going to work out okay. The staff here is a tremendous staff, and I'm talking about the staff in our schools, in our cafeterias, our bus drivers. All of those people play a vital role. So I'm proud to be your mayor, and I want you to keep working, because I think this year is going to be a year that we're going to overcome challenges and make our school system the best in the country. God bless you. Thank you.
Good morning. Mrs. White, we are so thrilled to have you leading our division and to welcome you again to your first convocation. To my fellow board members, City Council, Mr. Mayor, our teachers, principals, executive staff, and all of our other staff members, good morning. And I greet you on behalf of our of my fellow board members. To our teachers and to all of our staff, how we wish you could be here in this auditorium like we normally gather for Convocation with all of the rah-rah that we normally have. But the sad reality of life in the age of COVID-19 is that we cannot congregate as large groups in classrooms or in auditoriums. Yet we press on. So we want you to know that even though you're not present here, I hope you feel the appreciation with which we greet you and eagerly await the time when we can all assemble together again. One of my life quotes is Martin Luther King's admonition that we must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Good Lord. That best captures my feelings this morning. Despite the disappointing fact that we cannot meet together for Convocation this year, or that we cannot begin the year with all children back in classrooms with teachers and peers, I remain hopeful, and I hope you do, and excited about what can and should still be a remarkable and successful school year. Chief among our division's goals is improving academic achievement for all students while closing achievement gaps. That's our stated goal. This is a must for the 2021 school year, and we have no doubt, this board has no doubt, that everyone will rise to the challenge. In its advice to schools on reopening, the CDC describes K-12 schools as an important part of infrastructure of communities that play a critical role in supporting the whole child, not just their academic achievement. This is not a new expectation for RCPS. This is what we do because of all of you, because of our tremendous teachers, teaching assistants, principals, IT, cafeteria workers, maintenance, administration, executive staff, and our wonderful superintendent. Roanoke City Public Schools truly operates in this regard, and we will continue to do so this year. So as you meet with students virtually in these first 9 weeks, please remember this charge. Please operate with a laser focus on your critical role of supporting the whole child, including encouraging, engaging, and expecting all students to achieve at the highest levels academically, irrespective of venue. As my children say to me, you've got this. I have no doubt, because as University of Alabama coach Nick Saban says, one thing about championship teams is that they are resilient. No matter what is thrown at them, no matter how deep the hole, they find a way to bounce back and overcome adversity. This team, the RCPS team, is without a doubt a championship team. And the current crisis calls for us to bounce back, to rise up, if you will, as is Mrs. White's theme for this year. And not only to overcome the challenges we face this year, but to thrive, because our children deserve nothing less than the best from us. So there's not enough time this morning to list all of the accomplishments of the RCPS championship team. You've done so much over so many years, and I know that you're going to continue to do so this year. You are the champions, my friends, and we need you to bring the attitude and spirit of the champions that you are to your students this year, more than ever before. COVID-19 has taken so much already. We must not allow it to take our championship spirit. We must rise up. This will not be easy. There remains much to overcome. To some, the tasks and obstacles we will meet this year will seem insurmountable. But you can do it. You will meet the challenges and you will overcome them. You are the best there is. Of this, we are confident. So on behalf of the board, I implore you to challenge yourselves to follow the advice of St. Francis of Assisi daily. Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you will find yourselves doing the impossible. Your commitment to excellence in providing students synchronous virtual education that engages them to the point they feel as if they're present in the classroom will help our babies thrive and rise along with you. With Mrs. White's leadership, you all will rise up this year, no doubt, exceeding expectations with your extraordinary efforts, making the impossible possible for our students, for yourselves, for their families, and our community. In the words of a hit song that perfectly characterizes the theme for this year, We Will Rise Up, Andra Day says that all we need is hope, and for that we have each other. We will rise up like the day, rise unafraid. We will rise like the waves. We will rise in spite of the ache, and we'll do it 1,000 times again. This year, there will be mountains to move and challenges to overcome, but we will support each other. In the words of Mrs. Mason, congratulations. We will have to support each other. We will stay committed to providing our children and families the support and engaging academic rigor they deserve. We will remain hopeful and unafraid in spite of the aches. So when I go overboard or act in a manner that Bradley and Jamie, my children, think is a little over the top, they say, "Mom, you are doing the most." So I close by challenging all of us to do the most this year and rise up. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for bringing the best of yourselves every day to our children. We pray for a wonderful year, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Mayor Lee and Chairperson Smith, for those words. We really do appreciate it.
Hi, I am Archie Freeman, the proud principal of William Fleming High School, where we always show our colonel pride. I'm honored to introduce our keynote speaker, Superintendent Velita White. Mrs. White was appointed Superintendent of Roanoke City Public Schools July 1st. She comes to us from Baltimore County, Maryland, where she has served in a number of leadership roles since 1998, including assistant principal, executive director of professional development, assistant superintendent, chief academic officer, interim superintendent, and consultant to the superintendent. Mrs. White earned a Bachelor of Science degree in education from Towson State University, where she majored in early childhood education. She earned a Master's of Arts degree from Notre Dame of Maryland University in leadership and teaching. And she is currently a doctoral candidate in urban educational leadership at Morgan State University. Mrs. White has been characterized as a student-centered educator, equity-driven instructional leader, collaborative decision-maker, results-oriented professional, a systems thinker, creative problem solver, transformative learning strategist, and lifelong teacher and learning. Please help me in welcoming for Convocation 2020 our superintendent, Mrs. Velita White.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Mr. Freeman, for that beautiful introduction. Let's give our students another round of applause. I would also like to thank my family for being here. My brother, my sister-in-law made the trip from Maryland to be here today, so I just want to acknowledge them, ask them to stand and wave. And my husband, of course, my partner in crime, so thank you, Sydney White, for being there for me. And thanks again, Mr. Freeman, for hosting this beautiful convocation and this year's convocation. It is an honor and a blessing to be here to kick off the 2020-2021 school year. Many thanks also to Mayor Lee, members of the City Council, as well as members of the Roanoke City School Board for being here and for your leadership to celebrate this wonderful occasion. We appreciate your leadership, and it is my honor to work alongside each of you. I would also like to thank, again, my family for being here and for their continued love and support during this transition. And oh, what a transition it has been. When we all rang in the 2020 new year, none of us could have anticipated the global and societal changes that we were to endure as a result of COVID-19. So it has indeed been a challenging year in many ways. This virtual convocation is evidence of that fact. And although we would love to be here all together in the same room, we must be committed to keeping ourselves and others around us safe and healthy. Having said that, however, I am hopeful that we will rise above this moment and will be more resilient because of the time that we're living in right now. So that brings me to my message for you today and my theme for this year's convocation, which is We Will Rise. On one of our first visits to Roanoke, my family and I visited the Mill Mountain Star, understanding that it is the cornerstone of Roanoke City and overlooks the breathtaking Blue Ridge Mountains. It was during this visit that I came to learn more about how wonderful the city of Roanoke is and what a blessing it is to be a part of this amazing city. I have also learned that Roanoke City has won the All-America City Award 7 times. And that is based on community pride and economic development and community collaboration, such as partnerships with the Roanoke Symphony, as well as the Roanoke Library, for instance, with the Star City Reads Initiative. That's why I believe the star, which is also a symbol of excellence, is so fitting, not only for the city, but also for our school system. As we remember from our science classes, stars are huge celestial bodies made mostly of hydrogen and helium that produce light and heat from the churning nuclear forges inside their cores and are held together by their own gravity. To me, that describes those of us who are educators, as well as those of us who work with and for children and who support education. We have a fire churning in our core that is indescribable to most. People wonder about our passion, and they also wonder how and why we continue to press on. But we do so because of that burning desire to serve children, their families, and our communities. And although there are times when it seems like the odds are against us, we use that gravitational force to bind us together, to benefit children, and to prepare them well. So yes, we will teach, we will transport, we will feed, we will care for, we will nurture, we will connect, we will advocate, we will organize, and we will rise up for our young people to support them in every way possible because it is in our core to do so. So we have to also remember that we have to be more than employees in Roanoke City. We have to be all-stars in our all-America city. Why? Because our children and our city are depending on us to be at our very best for them. This is a critical time, not just because of the pandemic, but also because of our students' needs and because of the future that awaits them. As all-stars, this team has accomplished a great deal for children, ranging from quality academic programs, acknowledgments in the performing arts, achievements in athletic programs, important partnerships with local colleges and universities, as well as an increasing graduation rate year over year. Those accomplishments should be celebrated and should not be taken lightly because it takes a lot of hard work and effort to get those kinds of results. Let's hear it for all of those accomplishments. And as all-stars, we can also not become complacent, as we have to ask ourselves the hard questions so we can accomplish even more for our students. When analyzing our aggregate data, for instance, we know that our students have made gains, but we cannot say that for all students, not yet. According to our most recent student achievement data, Black students, students with disabilities, students who are economically disadvantaged, and our English learners are generally underperforming in reading and in mathematics. Therefore, we still have a lot of work to do, but I know we can get this work done. In my 100-day plan, I outlined my vision for our school system, entitled Destination 2030. You see, we cannot just look at the here and now when it comes to our students or their needs or even today's world. We have to remain forward-thinking so we are adequately preparing our kids for the world that awaits them. So what do we know? We can already see that with the current pandemic, the shift to automation, we can also see how technology is advancing exponentially, which is impacting not only our lives today, but will also tremendously impact our students' futures. We can already see the changing landscape with the new workforce terminology and acronyms in today's world, such as AI, ML, VR, and AR, meaning artificial intelligence, machine learning, virtual reality, and augmented reality, respectively. According to a recent article in Forbes by Yolanda Lau, in today's digital age, as artificial intelligence and machine learning begin to automate jobs, and as virtual reality and augmented reality change our workplace and training abilities, the structure of the work and skills needed to succeed have changed. Soft skills like emotional intelligence are now paramount to success, requiring changes to our education system. Therefore, it is essential for us to prepare our students for college, the military, and the general workforce by grounding our work in STEAM, science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics, with literacy serving as the foundation in each of these areas, beginning in the early years of schooling. As noted by Stacy Kazmarek, the National Program Manager for Reading Partners, literacy plays an integral role in the STEAM fields. These areas can be defined as the 4 C's of literacy and STEAM integration. Again, since we know that the workforce is rapidly changing today and that there will be more jobs available in the STEM fields by 2030, the time is now to make sure that every teacher is a literacy teacher. And I think that deserves a round of applause as well. This is critical because this year's 3rd grader is the 2030 graduate I am speaking of today. By graduation, we need our students to be able to comprehend technical text, use content-specific vocabulary, engage in critical thinking, and communicate well, both in verbally and in writing, in the traditional sense and digitally. That's a tall order, but it can be accomplished. These efforts, combined with embedded CTE, or career and technical education, and workforce development opportunities, will provide our students with a fighting chance, a leg up on the competition. That's something extra that I like to call a gift with purchase. To make all of this a reality for students, there are 5 key points on our STAR that I believe to be essential to eliminating gaps and pathways forward for all of our Roanoke All-Stars. The first point on our STAR is that of academic accountability and student performance measures. As a data-driven school system, it will be important for all of us to engage our community, our parents, teachers, students, and administrators to develop the Destination 2030 strategic plan. This vision team will use feedback from community meetings as well as student achievement data to mark our path forward toward closing gaps in achievement and raising the academic bar for all students. The second point on our STAR is equity and access to high-quality instructional programs, which includes evaluating curriculum, instruction, and assessment practices to ensure reflection and inclusivity. I would like to pause here to acknowledge our school board, to commend them on their leadership and courage to go beyond just saying the word equity to developing and revising equity policies that truly address equitable practices in our school system. The board should also be acknowledged for passing a resolution condemning racism and affirming the division's commitment to an inclusive school environment. I am proud to work for leaders who truly believe in the promise and potential of all children, who are willing to address discrimination and institutionalized racism, and who are willing to do the hard work of promoting and ensuring equity throughout the district. We commend you on behalf of the children we serve, and we thank you. The third point on our STAR is that of operational efficiency. It takes all of us, as the mayor said, to provide high-quality programs for our students. Therefore, it is critically important for us to understand the needs of our business service personnel and to thank them for their work, including our bus drivers, our grounds crew, our food and building service workers, our maintenance crew, our office and support staff, as well as our fiscal, technology, and human resource offices. Together, we must work together to make sure that our system runs efficiently. Let's thank all of those folks that I just named. The fourth point on our STAR is that of organizational stability and effectiveness. We will invest in our people. We're in a people business. And because we are in a people business, we must take care of the people who serve our students and community. I will also pause here to thank our elected officials for your leadership and partnership. I appreciate how you are working right here alongside us to take care of our All-Stars. For instance, the city has committed $2 million in CARES Act funding to help support our staff with child care needs, particularly during this period of virtual learning. To our city leaders, we appreciate you and we thank you. Let's give our city leaders a big round of applause. You see, this is what makes Roanoke an all-America city. And this is what makes us an all-star team. I must also pause here to acknowledge our dedicated teachers. Thank you for all that you do to serve children. We appreciate your willingness to do this work even in uncertain times. Let's give our teachers a round of applause. We also like to say thanks to our principals, our school-based and central office leaders. It is your leadership that will help us realize the goal of maintaining organizational stability. So thank you for rising up for our school community. Let's give our principals and school-based leaders a hand, as well as our central office leaders. The final point on our star may be the most important, especially right now, and that is health, safety, and school climate. When it comes to taking care of the people we serve, as well as those who serve our young people, we must consider ways to address not only the physical safety of our students and staff, but also the social-emotional safety of our students and staff as well. We can do this by promoting positive school cultures, by celebrating our students' successes, by creating welcome centers for those who are newcomers to our beautiful country, and investing time and energy in prevention, restoration, and logical consequences for student behavior, as well as investing in trauma-informed practices for those who have suffered the unimaginable. This is what I mean by taking care of the people we serve. These 5 points will serve as the foundation of our revised strategic plan, but we need all of you, as well as all of our members of our community, to tell us what is working well and where we need improvement in each of these key areas. So for everyone watching this convocation, I want you to know that you matter. Your opinion matters. Your work matters. Your commitment matters. So as I said in the beginning, together we will rise. We've done so before, and we can do so again. On that unforgettable day in 2001, for instance, that day we will always remember as 9/11. I was a beginning principal that year, and I was just entering my second year in the principalship. And just like everyone else, I remember exactly where I was that day. I was attending a professional development session when we received news of the attacks. I rushed back to my school and found several parents frantically trying to pick up their children. And that's because my school was located right by the Air National Guard. So our parents had a heightened sense of awareness of what was going on, and they were scared. So I called together our teachers and staff once I got back to the building, and we put our heads together to make sure of a few things. We had to make sure a few things happened. One, that we could maintain order in chaos. Two, that we could keep our students calm and safe. And three, that we could start planning for the days to come to make sure that our students would get everything that they needed, academically and emotionally. You see, my story is not unlike many of our teachers and administrators. You see, because that is what we do. We rise up for our students. This time with COVID-19, this time is no different. We will rise in this time of uncertainty and will be there for our children and their families. Wherever you are right now, I ask that you stand with me and rise up. As Nelson Mandela once said, everyone can rise above their circumstances and achieve success if they are dedicated to and passionate about what they do. Well, his quote rings true in Roanoke City schools, as we will rise during good and challenging times. I know this because I've had the good fortune of meeting many, many staff members, and I can hear the resolve in your voices, and I can see it in your eyes. We will rise for our city and for our community. We will rise when we see injustice and we will call it out. We will rise for those who cannot rise up and speak for themselves. We are Roanoke City All-Stars in an all-America city, and we will continue to shine brightly as we all rise for our children today and every day. Thank you so very much.